filmmaker of documentaries, and I'm here at the Utopiales with my film on Jean Giraud. It's called Moebius Redux. You know?
Yeah. The documentary about...
I did not mention it was Arte, the broadcaster. His dream was to documentary produced Arte on Moebius for years, was his dream. And he never could find the right person to do it. So maybe because of the things I'd done and because the production company Avanti, they told him I was a big fan of comic books. He asked me if I was interested, if I'd write something, and yeah, so I did. But I didn't tell him that I didn't know anything about Moebius because of books. So I had to read everything about Jean Giraud and all the comics, and I wrote something short, and then they wanted something longer, and then they said, okay.
Do you read this story about the Silver Surfer?
Yeah, of course. Yeah. No, when I was assigned to do this, I read everything. Everything I could get, I read. I read so many comics in that years.
And do you have good contacts with Jean Giraud Moebius, or was it difficult at the beginning?
It was difficult at the beginning because I think he and even more his wife found it strange that a German should do the documentary on him. And they had some French friends who wanted to do it. So at first he said no. And then I guess they were trying to sell it to Arte. So Arte said no because they wanted to do it with me, and then I called him again a year later when I heard that they couldn't do it, and I said, Jean, I mean they don't do it, why don't we do it? So we met, and then it went from there.
What was the easier to do and more difficult?
With him?
Well,
or with the whole thing?
With the whole project.
Well, it wasn't so easy to get some time from him. You know, he's very busy, and his wife doesn't want him to do that much stuff outside of drawing and working, and so it was hard to do a lot of things with him. You know, go outside with him and film. There wasn't much time. That was hard because normally when you do a documentary on somebody you need time. So that wasn't so easy. The other hard thing was to get Jodorowsky, which I think is the most important part of the film. And it took me 1.5 years to get him. That wasn't easy.
And when you had Jodorowsky, was it easy too, or not? Or not at all?
No. He finally I called him, and at one point he said, maybe I'm not the one you think I am. And I said, Alejandro, it's your number. I think it's you. And you don't know, maybe I'm Einstein. So you know where this was going. He wanted money all of a sudden, and I could talk him out of that. And then he said, okay, you have 1 hour in my apartment in Paris. And I was like, with setting up the camera and light and stuff, and he said yes. So when we arrived there, I was so happy that he was opening the door, because I was up to that point, I thought maybe he's not there or something. So we went in, and he was really like, he wasn't open or friendly. He was like, and then I told my production manager, Robert, talk to him. You're better in French. We get the equipment. Be real quick, and you can warm him up a little, tell him what we're about to do, get to know him a bit. So I went down with the crew, got the equipment. We had a lot of equipment, and then I came back, and Jodorowsky was sitting there, silent, with a book in a chair. And Robert was sitting next to him in a book, silent, you know, in a chair. And I was asking him later, why didn't you talk to the guy? And as soon as it turned out, as soon as we left, Jodorowsky told Robert, don't talk to me, go to the shelf, take a book, sit down and be quiet. And that was the mood you were starting the interview in. So the first 10 minutes were hard to do, but then he noticed that we were really serious about it. And then he started to like us in a way. I think he had fun with us. And then the interview was really great, and it was much longer than he told us to, so in the end we were all really happy because he's quite some character.
At the end of the project, when you see the documentary finished, Was it, is it what you wanted at the beginning or not? Or it's never?
It's never, yeah, you're never really, I think you're never really 100% happy. I think I was unsure when it was finished, but when I went to festivals more and I noticed that people liked it and for what they liked it, and I went to a university, there was a seminar on documentaries and they invited me. I think it works, so I'm happy. Now I'm happy. I think I know that it maybe doesn't work for the hardcore Moebius fan, because they're saying, why isn't that in there, why doesn't he talk about this and that, but you can't satisfy them. How could you? I mean, you have to make decisions. And for me, I made the right decisions.
And actually, what are your future projects? Do you begin to work on other documentary, movie?
I'm always coming back to the Arte series Au Cœur de la Nuit, which I love to do. And it's also produced by Avanti, the production company. Actually, my sister is the boss. She also urged me to do the Moebius film, so I have to thank her for that. And yeah, there are two things I would like to do next. But the one thing is, I still think about doing a documentary on this Dune project that you see in the Moebius film, because it's so fascinating, and I had much more material on that, and you could visit all those people. You know, Pink Floyd were going to do the music, and Salvador Dali was going to act in it, and Mick Jagger, and so yeah. And there's another thing. I would love to do a documentary on Italian crime films of the 70s.
Okay.
But who knows?
Maybe one day.
Yeah, hope for.
Okay, thank you very much.
Oh, thank you.